some opening hands. And that's a double smiter hand for Leadbeater there.
So it looks looking...
Plenty of lands.
He knows
got
what
a
he's
voice.
up against.
Yeah.
No one drop, unfortunately. I'm interested to see what Hoban's got in hand.
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining Leadbeater's first turn will consist of land, go.
Sounds right.
So we'll just... I didn't get a good look at... Oh, wait a minute.
He's
so
got some. He's got a Wild and Cattle. He's got
maybe, yeah,
an Attacker's Command.
Excellent.
Yeah, so Leadbeater's 2 4/4s there look like they're going to be doing some good amount of work in this game.
Potentially, if you can get them down quick enough.
Yeah.
They'll obviously outsize those the Wild Nactal.
Yeah, for sure. Being on the play really helps with getting them down quickly as well.
Can if Leadbeater doesn't have to take too much damage with his lands as well, could help. So if Leadbeater draws, we'll see what he does there. So sack a land so that he doesn't have to pay the life to have it untapped next turn. I wonder if I'm just trying to get a look at Hoban's hand, see how many other threats he has. Because basically, if Leadbeater can get rid of the first couple of threats from Hoban, it's going to be very difficult for Hoban to win the game. His creature's much bigger, and Hoban doesn't have the removal, at least not game one, to take out the big guys 1-for-1.
Absolutely.
So it looks like Leadbeater topped off the Swiss. He actually played out the last round against Samroll from 1 to put himself into the top seed. I think they were battling it out for that, and looks like Leadbeater's going to potentially maybe put the voice in the way, although it doesn't really do too much against a 3/3, but it does serve as a bit of a stumbling block.
Yeah, it's 2 blockers, which will get him nicely into the mid-game, which is where those 4/4s want to be.
I think Leadbeater's 17 to 70, they're just getting those life totals.
Oh, that's a Dramoka's Command in his hand as well.
That could do a lot of work on it against an Attacker's Command potentially, or, well, I guess any burn heading, heading his direction. So, Hoban, presumably going to get planes, and imagine he will... Oh, an expedition!
Lovely.
Fancy planes. If you're going to do it like that, why not do it in the style?
Haven't seen too many of those today.
You're not?
No.
They are supposed to be pretty
rare,
pretty high sought after. So
that's very true.
So he's going to get some. So this is good. So he can attack reasonably profitably with both creatures. Let's see if Leadbeater takes the bait and tries to block the Swift Spear. I know that Hoban, he's likely to
have
make that attack on the merit of having Trick, and maybe play another post-combat creature. Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Gideon comes down as well.
So we'll see. So Leadbeater may try and stop this with a Smiter. Well, holding up Dramoka's Command doesn't really do a whole lot.
No, it doesn't, does it? So Smiter it is.
So he's on defense at the moment.
Yeah, but that's a good defense. 4/4
could be tough against red burn spells.
Yeah.
As you said, 2 blockers from the voice represents potentially 2 blockers. However, Hoban's got an Attacker's Command, so depending on how the blocks line up, we could see things potentially get tricky. You see, I don't quite like the Smiter on Gideon because he can just make the Gideon indestructible. He has to do that at the expense of his Swift Spear dying there because he's lined that up. This makes sense, but I'd better potentially playing around Attacker's Command. I don't know if the players know each other's deck lists.
I don't think they do, no, they haven't been shown deck lists.
Okay, so Boris Charm and
so Lightning Bolt
is willing to give up the 2-for-1 against.
Yeah. So Lightning Bolt takes care of the Lockstone Smiter
at the expense of having
Will
Gideon not be dead?
Was the mode on Boris Charm indestructibility?
He made his Gideon indestructible, and that's actually a very good play. I didn't notice Boris Charm in his hand earlier. So it looks like
So
he's untapped his Gideon and made it. Used Gideon to untap the Swift Spear there.
right.
To make it is it indestructible?
Yeah, Gideon's not seen a lot of play in Standard. Seems like he's gone straight for Modern.
It's not really Gideon, you see, because in his childhood he
Kithian,
the card
excuse
is
me.
technically Kithian and not quite the Gideon we see dominating some portions of Standard.
Yeah.
But quite a good fit in this deck.
Yeah, it certainly seems it. One mana creatures, they want those, and that's you get some good value out of it at this stage in the game when it's Planeswalker.
Potentially tough for Leadbeater. He could deploy the Scavenging Ooze and hold up Dramoka's Command, but
he won't get any Scavenging Ooze activations as well from that. So
also the more creatures he's able to deploy, the more he can grow that elemental token, which could prove quite useful. Hoban down to only 2 cards in hand though, but he basically doesn't want to draw any more lands, and he wants to play spells for the rest of the game. This is actually proving to be a bit closer than my initial assessment.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hierarch here, not Hierarch, the Loxodon Smiter, what do you think of playing that this turn? Of course, that only allows him to play 1 spell this turn, but again, it's a 4/4, so a good blocker in this situation. But he's not going for that, he's going for, a Tarmogoyf.
Goyf was a good draw. So
Goyf is a very good draw here.
Is, I think it'll be a 3/4, but so creature, land, instant. I don't think anything else was played, unfortunately. Yeah, so it looks like it's a 3/4, so it can Manwell against the Wild Mackerel, no problem.
And getting to hold up Dramoka's Command as well is very nice here.
In case of a burn spell, yes. And he can actually use it to fight with his superior sized creatures.
Exactly.
So let's see what Hoban decides to play.
So Gideon's becoming a creature, and Hoban's swinging in with the team.
Yeah.
And yep, Goyf is a 3/4.
So I'm just, you'll have to excuse me, I'm not too familiar with the Kithian card, and
it's like a smaller version of...
so it's 4/4, is it indestructible?
Oh, that's a big game.
That is a big play. The attacker's command there.
And I think we're going to see a Dramoka's Command fired off in response.
It doesn't prevent the size growth, but it will prevent the 3 damage heading right at Leadbeater at the moment.
Yeah.
So with the
so if he's doing this in response to the attacker's command, he can fight before the growth.
I think he's chosen to prevent the damage there.
Sure, yeah.
It looks like he's not indicated creatures fighting.
Yeah, that sounds right.
With the Swift Spear being a 2/3, it's going to take out that. So they
Take
trade 1 on each side, but Leadbeater goes down to, he takes, I think, 5 from the animated Gideon.
That sounds right to me. So we should see Thomas at 4. Yeah. 4 plays 14, and he's drawn a Lightning Bolt. So Lightning Bolt, Loxodon, and Scavenging
It's a
Ooze.
shame Hoban's got basic planes, unable to deploy a follow-up Wild Mackerel and keep the pressure on. That's taking out
takes
Gideon.
care of
I
Gideon.
think he needed
That's
to do
very
that.
good. Yeah,
Having
he
that on
absolutely needs
defense probably wasn't
But Scavenging Ooze can come down now.
used, and he's got a bolt, which I think he potentially should play now, because Goyf's big enough to stop a Nactal, and I mean the worst that can happen here is Hoban has another Boros Charm that he uses in response to a news, but he's actually kept 2 green mana up, so he can.
So he can't Dramoka's Command.
No, well, I think he only had 1 Dramoka's Command main deck anyway.
Okay.
Having just seen the list, I'm thinking more that the Scavenging Ooze has 2 chances to
Sure,
respond
yeah,
in
it can
case
gain
a 4
some
damage
life.
burn
Absolutely.
spell comes at him. So hopefully he's going to wait for this to. It does resolve.
Yep. And he's gaining some life there off the Scavenging Ooze.
It looks like he's going to just max his life total out there, pad himself from burn damage. Looks like it's possible he could be turning the corner in there. He just has to make sure he's careful with his attacks. He can deploy the Knight and hold up a bolt or ooze activation depending on how he taps his mana. I'm not sure what the last card in Hoban's hand is. So Leadbeater's confident attack there, which means bad news for Hoban because he's probably expecting post-combat creature there, and it is in fact the Knight, which is I think it's a 4/4 there. Just getting a glimpse of the great. Oh no, it's a Smiter. My mistake. Still quite sizable, quite tough for Hoban to get through.
Yeah, those Nacatls and Swift Spears just don't look as impressive when they're facing down Smiters and Tarmogoyfs and big oozes.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, like being on the draw as opposed to on the play, because if you look at this game where Hoban potentially has that turn advantage,
he was down to 4 life,
being 4 damage short.
Yeah.
But let's not speak too soon because they could draw. He could draw his way past this, although it is looking.
Yeah. So what sequence of draws do you think is going to be the best for him here? Just a couple of burn spells,
or potentially a. Yeah. I think his out is to make a. He needs Leadbeater to potentially make a mistake with blocking. And I'm just trying to think, looking at the list, that Become Immense is potentially out.
Yes, Become Immense is good here.
But it looks like Leadbeater's got the answer with a Bolt in response. I think that was Hoban, represented Hoban's last chance there. Because now Leadbeater's going to make short work of. He's got 8 damage on the table, I think. Hoban's only at 9. And he's empty-handed. There's nothing he can one-shot his opponent with for 6. So, yeah. Right, Leadbeater just making sure that Hoban.
Absolutely. There's no draw here that will work out. So Oh well, he was on 3 there, so I guess the Ataka's command did 3 damage. A lightning bolt would have done it.
The life totals weren't up to date. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So there was a draw that would have worked out for Hoban, but unfortunately, Step Links was not it.
Yeah. No, not one of those creatures you want to top deck late.
No.
Certainly a powerful opener. So sideboards, if you want to take a look at these, and let's see what might come up. So out of Leadbeater's deck, playing very much the control role, I can see Worship being a big game player.
Yep.
If obviously Hoban being on the play gets off to a very fast start and puts him under that pressure that we mentioned he could have done had he gone first in that game.
Yeah.
Does Hoban actually have a way? He's got 2 Pride Mages to get rid of a potential Worship from Leadbeater.
He does.
What else could Leadbeater?
His Pride Mages are in the board, so he'll have to be thinking about what Leadbeater's going to be boarding if he's going to be thinking about bringing in Pride Mage.
Yeah.
Did we see any targets for Pride Mage in the first game?
Well,
no,
not in the main deck. No. So he'd have to potentially anticipate that action from Leadbeater.
The unflinching courages in Leadbeater's sideboard there look quite good as well.
Yeah, that looks very big game, especially considering that the creature's quite big, can't be taken out so easily with the likes of Lightning Bolt. And yeah, I think it's more sort of Hoban's. The onus is more on Hoban to sideboard strategically here. We see 3 Path to Exiles, which he can use to take out roadblocks from Leadbeater.
Absolutely.
So those 2 Pride Mages, if he anticipates something like a Worship that could ruin his day, although playing the percentages, it is only 1 card.
Yeah.
It's not like you'd anticipate your opponent sideboarding in, say, 4 worships, or that they've got a combo like Splinter Twin where they play 4 copies.
That's right.
So yeah, it doesn't look like I don't see him being interested in sideboarding Core Firewall, because in Leadbetter's deck looked very green-white dominated.
It did, yeah. What do you think of Eidolon of the Great Revel, though? That'll get triggered quite a lot.
Eidolon of the Great Revel is, I think that could be quite good. All of Leadbetter's spells except for Elspeth and Collected Company, which we didn't see in the first game.
No, that's right.
They all cost 3, so he will have to pay a price for casting his spells.
Yeah, sounds very good to me.
So I think that's a great option on the play there.
Yeah, and of course with him being on the play, as you were saying, the extra 4 points of damage he could have done in that game, being on the play matters hugely here.
Leadbetter, it doesn't look like he's got a huge amount of... I mean, there's 2 spell skites there, but they don't necessarily... They won't block... the problem is Hoban is going to go wide with multiple creatures here.
Yeah.
So, although it's going to stem a bit of bleeding, I actually think that maybe Voice of Resurgence representing 2 blockers, one of which could end up being like 3/3 or 4/4, depending on how Leadbetter is able to add to the board, may represent a saving. Although it does, Spellskite does have an ability to save him. No, Leadbetter's not actually playing that much burn, so the paying 2 life to save a bit of damage from a lightning bolt isn't going to hugely be a factor. Leadbetter, actually, I've just noticed 2 Crim Lava Mances.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. So they'll take out a Goblin Guide or a Step Links, or provided there's no shenanigans going on.
Potentially even a Monstrous Swift Spear.
Yep.
Kithian as well, although...
Yeah, there are a lot of good targets for it.
I like the Kithian tech, actually.
Yeah, it's not something I've seen much of, but it's did some good work for him that game. Unfortunately, didn't get him the win, but definitely a powerful card.
No worries. So it looks like they're shuffling it for game 2 there. Hoban is going to take the play for this game.
Yep. It looks like he's happy with the hand. And Leadbetter's hand looks a little land heavy. What have we got here? 4 land. Oh no, we've got a Lightning Bolt, Dromoka's Command, Tarmogoyf. Yeah, he's happy with it. And Hoban is mulliganing.
Yeah, sometimes if you don't have, well, something like 4 lands in a starting hand can spell too many lands, not enough business for this kind of deck that wants to get off the ground really quickly and end the game.
Yeah, whereas Leadbetter has only 3 lands in his hand.
But he looks like he's got a Bolt.
Yep. Bolt, Tarmogoyf,
Voice, and Knight of the Reliquary.
Right.
So he could take out the first threat from Leadbetter, from Hoban, probably, and
the colours on the art on Knight of the Reliquary and Dromoka's Command are very similar, so I keep getting caught out by that.
I mistook the Smiter for a Knight as well,
right?
Being similar mana cost, similar green-white cards.
Yeah. That is a Knight.
Leadbetter has 2 fetch lands, so his Knight will probably come in as a 4/4.
Yeah.
We'll see what Hoban can start us off with though.
So straight down to 18. So we can accept
have a 1-drop.
A Goblin Guide. Very good 1-drop. Trigger.
So
a Lightning Bolt off the top is quite nice for Leadbetter.
That is good for Leadbetter. It means you can take out the first 2 threats.
Yeah. So we expect him to shock himself here, yep.
Yep.
So straight down to 16.
He's going to wait and see if he can get a free card off the Goblin Guide.
Now, and there's the... Oh. So
it looks like
presumably, yeah. So he gets the draw.
He does get the Ghost Quarter off it. And I'm not sure what Hoban's doing. Is he thinking of playing a Boros Charm to protect his...
Could be.
Goblin Guide?
So he's taking
or a Gorklan Rampager would probably be a bit of a disaster for Leadbetter. Actually, having just checked his deck list. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Goblin Geist is +4/+4.
So, and trample.
Yeah. So I'm wondering
so
if
survives that bolt.
Leadbeater will, because of that, choose to. Although actually, I think deploying the Voice of Resurgence matches up quite well against the Goblin Geist.
It does.
So if I was in Leadbeater's position, I'd be a little more inclined to do that. Because then, did he have a Tarmogoyf as well?
I believe so. Yeah. How big is Tarmogoyf at this point?
So it would be a 3/4.
3/4. Yeah.
And the following turn, he could play Tarmogoyf, have Bolt held up. Yeah. I think, with the exception of Lightning Bolt, being able to answer Hoban's creatures with bigger creatures is the better way to go about things.
Yeah, that seems right. And
It
it's
looks like
Tarmogoyf straight away as a 3/4, which is a bigger creature than a 2/2.
Yeah. So Hoban.
There's a lot of shocking going on here. He gets the trigger, free card. He's drawn 2 cards off that Goblin Guide.
Looks like he's got
and another
Rampager.
Goldkine Rampager.
So he didn't play around that.
No.
It looks like this is the way Hoban's going to win this match. Well, this game potentially. Unfortunately not. So he's got step links and a
So he's
bolt left.
Yeah, playing a bolt this turn for Leadbeater seems good. While Hoban's down on mana, can't respond with any.
Looks like he's going to have to.
Oh, he's going to have to fetch for that.
Sir,
Yep.
You're going to have to crack that fetch land before playing that spell skite. And Hoban responds with a bolt to the face. So does that put
Looks
him
like he's
down to
3?
3, or was that from 9 to 6?
No. I believe that's down to 3. He
Down
took
to
some
3.
damage off the Rampager on the previous turn.
Right.
I've got it 6 here.
Just get that.
Perhaps we're being a little over optimistic for Hoban there.
Yeah.
Yep. So plays the bolt there.
Oh, it is 3.
So step links.
And step links.
So if Hoban draws fetch land, the Spellskite's not going to be.
Not going to survive combat.
Not going to survive combat with these step links. Leadbeater does have a Knight the Reliquary.
Which is.
So the Knight is actually
3.
a 4 itself.
Yeah, it's a 4/4. Yeah, that's right.
Has Leadbeater got a trick? See, I would have liked maybe holding the Ghost Quarter up, then you can destroy one of your own lands and make that guy a 6/6, which is real big game against the step links. It looks like he's kind of
representing
a lightning bolt or a path.
Yeah.
But I think this deck's going to try and play into it no matter what.
Yeah. You don't hold back even.
Because it has to.
Yeah.
The nature of how fast this Zoo deck is.
Yeah.
So yeah, Knight down. So looks like it's going to
There's
replace
another
the
one.
Knight. Still only
Tapping
a
the
4/4.
same way.
So if Hoban draws another fetch land, he can. He draws another step links. So the board's starting to get a little bit clogged.
It is.
So yeah.
And Hoban has 1 card in hand, is that right?
Yes.
Do we know what that is?
Well, it's probably not Bolt because he'd have fired that off.
He certainly would have done.
We'll just see what it is. Of course, Leadbeater not really representing that
Third
command.
step link.
So third step links. So lands or spells. Spells other than step links.
Yes.
Or maybe more creatures as well.
Classic Warfront is interesting.
Yeah. Classic Warfront normally one of the finisher cards
Yeah,
for
yeah.
when there's a huge knight, giving it trample in the face of. So these step links, not very good blockers. Hoban can afford to take a little bit of damage. which I think he likely will do, so that he. Although no, it looks like he's blocking there, hoping to just preserve his life total and increase the number of turns he can possibly draw a burn spell. Interestingly, the Gideon can block the knight for days, as they'd say, use that indestructible ability.
Yeah, we might just see that now.
Yeah. Like Leadbeater can respond with a removal spell, this would be really good. But now he's just going to clog the board up even more. Again, not really representing Dromoka's command. So it looks like step links have.
So these voice tokens are going to be quite large.
Yes.
Hoban's going to need to.
I think that was.
Follow this up somehow.
Yeah. I think. So Leadbeater's going to get 2 voice tokens out of the deal.
Yeah.
But Hoban is a.
Hoban's now facing lethal damage.
But he's going to transform his Gideon into
yep.
Gideon, and he can attack one of his creatures and make it indestructible. So he's not necessary. But does Leadbeater have enough on the swing back? If he plays more creatures, remember those voices
will
do
get
grow. He's got fetch lands and a Ghost Quarter to grow the knight, and even a Keswick Wolfrun as well to give something trample.
Yeah.
And a step links is only a 0/1 blocker. He can even attack with a spell sky and give that plus power and trample.
He can.
I think he's just adding up whether he can move in. So the voice tokens are 4/4s. That's 4/8.
I believe they're 5/5s.
They're 5/5s. He's got 1, 2, 5/5s even. Yeah. So it looks like he's yeah. So he's got many ways to grow the knight and potentially whichever creature.
Yep,
It looks like Leadbeater sealed that game.
So Leadbeater wins 2-0.
Yeah. And there's the card that Hoban had been hoping to draw
Yeah.
for several turns to do the last 3 damage there.
Did he just flip that off the top? Was that the next draw?
I think so, yeah.
Oh dear. So in both games, I think it was there was a turn in it for Hoban if he'd had another turn.
Just came up short.
Yeah.
Unfortunately I didn't get a good look at Hoban's hand. I didn't know he was holding those Gold Clan Rampages. Leadbeater did pay quite a bit, not respecting the possibility of that happening, and maybe got a bit greedy, trying to get free cards off the Goblin Guide, and we saw him potentially, nearly fall to that twice in a row. So should we look at some of the other matches that are going on in the quarterfinals now that we've got this result in? So Tom Leadbeater beating Liam. Is it Hoban or Hobbs? Beating Liam in the quarterfinals there, 2-0. We've also got Ioannis Sakelis against Sam Rolfe, so that's a rematch from earlier. They played in round 4. So Sam Rolfe is playing Blue-Red Twin.
And who won in that match in the Swiss?
It was the Twin that I don't know whether they got Twin combat out or whether it was just by means of effective Blue-Red cards, but Rolfe ended up winning that particular match.
Right.
Matthew Duggan is playing Jund, and he's playing Sam Bentham, who is on Merfolk, although he's requested that for the purposes of coverage we refer to his deck as Freaky Fish Guys, because he specifically put the effort into writing that down on his deck list sheet, so we will pay homage to that at least. And then James Clark playing Robots, which was a little bit underrepresented in this tournament, I felt.
It is, yeah.
There were only 3 copies out of the, we got nearly 50 players, only 3 on Robots, and with Robots being quite a popular choice across the board on a sort of a grand. We saw many copies of it at the World Championships. We saw there's quite a few playing it at the Grand Prix. Various other local tournaments have had quite a strong Robots presence, and he's playing against Ed Wilson, who's also playing Jund. same as Matt Duggan there. So that's our bracket. So we know Leadbeater's in the semi-finals. He'll be playing the winner of that Rolf Sekelis matchup. So we'll, if Sekelis can get his revenge for his defeat in the Swiss, we'll see Jund versus Naya there. Looks like we're just trying to get a report in from the field as to which other matches might still be going on, so that we can update you with further results. I've just received an update that James Clark has beaten Ed Wilson in his quarterfinal. So we'll see Robots
going on to the semis.
Going on to the semis there. We actually saw James Clark on camera in round 6.
We did.
Against Jund, who played Alex Gershaw. From what I've seen of the Jund list, they're fairly stock, up to the same usual business, usually varying with a few sort of one-offs in the main deck or a few different card choices in the sideboard. But looks like Clark getting the job done again. So we'll see if the result of the Rolf Sekelis matchup depends if who Tom Leadbeater's next opponent in the semi-final will be, and then it's Matthew Duggan against Freaky Fish guys.
That's
in
right.
the other match, we'll see if that's going to be squaring off against Robots there.
So it's going to be bad news for Sam on Freaky Fish guys that Robots has gone through. He's if Sam wins that match, I know he was saying that Robots is one of the harder matches for him. So what do you think of the other games in the bracket? Who do you think is going to be hoping for what result? Can we have a look at that bracket again? So
yeah.
Rolf and Sekelis, so Leadbeater having just won there. Who do you think Leadbeater's hoping to win?
Hoping to play against in the semis.
Yeah. So it's Twin versus... Did you say Jund?
Jund, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sekelis is playing Jund. Tom
So I think
Leadbeater
wants to play against Twin, really.
Yeah, he's got the pressure, he's got the removal, and he did beat Sam Rolf in round 6 earlier.
Yes.
Playing it, so the matchup he knows he can do it. Rolf, actually quite a very good player. He recently came back from the Pro Tour. He won a PPTQ yesterday.
Excellent.
Standard format, but nonetheless proven ability at quite a high level of Magic. And Twin, if there is any deck that has that ability to interact with other decks and catch them off guard, Twin is a good weapon to be brandishing. I only really haven't experienced or seen a lot of action from the Zoo side. I think if it can mount that pressure, so we see Leadbeater's got 4 Noble Hierarchs to power out cards like Knight of the Reliquary and Loxodon Smiter, particularly not being able to be countered or hit by red burn spells.
Yeah,
that's a real big game. Let's just have a quick look at those deck lists. So I agree with you. I think he's hoping to play against Twin because the Jund deck can match the Tarmogoyfs with Tarmogoyfs, and it's got Abrupt Decay, which is quite a powerful tool against.
Absolutely.
One thing that does have to be careful though is Liliana of the Veil might give Tom Leadbeater an edge, because Jund players have to be quite conservative sometimes. Otherwise, they could find a Loxodon Smiter enter the battlefield for no apparent reason. There. Interestingly, Sekelis is also making use of one Abbot of Carol Keep, bit of card advantage there, although that doesn't really match up too well against the size of Leadbeater's,
That's right,
Smiters, Knights of the Reliquary.